All right. Good morning, gamers. Last stream of the year. We're continuing to work on this deck. Sometimes I've been calling it like the all-in Badgermole Cub deck. Sometimes I've been calling it the Leyline of Abundance deck. It's kind of hard to pin down because it kind of keeps changing and evolving. Our very first draft was like a Nykthos Devotion Shell, and we ended up kind of realizing that Nykthos was not as good a mana generator as Cub, which is a good sign. Um, and the big change here, and this is a really big update to the stack, is that we're mostly playing Summoner's Pact over Karn. There's been a few other little tweaks and changes. Look, I think we're playing the Shifting Woodland for the first time, so that this helps with some of the Icetill Explorer infinite loops. I think we might have been playing 4 Tyvar last time. The thing is, it's like this deck changed so much and then end up kind of more like this happens a lot. Like deck will like morph into something else along the way, then it'll kind of morph back to where it was. But in addition to, so I've been liking Summoners of Pact a lot. It's very similar to Karn in the sense that it is a payoff for your infinite combos. A lot of your combos are just like infinite mana or tons of mana. Some of your combos are a little bit more deterministic, but it's in addition to being like a combo payoff where you can get Ashaya to just go infinite with Leyline of Abundance, or you can get Craterhoof to just kill your opponent. Like Karn is a payoff once you have your mana. This also is a mana enabler. Like being able to grab a Quirion Ranger on a turn where you're really popping off, and you just need a little bit of a burst of mana is a huge deal. Grabbing a second or third cup, or even a first, to just get a big burst of mana is a big deal. It's also like just very good with Springheart Nantuko. One thing I have like Nantuko is nuts in this deck. It's just there's so many cards that Nantuko is really, really good on. But you can't Green Sun effectively for Nantuko because it puts it into play, not your hand. Pact putting the Nantuko to hand is a really, really big deal. And this deck makes so much mana that like you're able to pay on your upkeep and then keep going in a lot of situations as well, which is something that I like a lot about this deck. And in addition to getting Summoner's Pact in the main, which I do think is just kind of generically better than Karn, although Karn obviously has a lot of advantages. You get to play sideboard. This is kind of an earlier draft of a sideboard. We've got Storm Hate, Boros Prowess removal / sometimes you want to kill like Clarion Conqueror, Force of Vigors, Endurances, and then I think Boseiju is the best Tron Hate we can play. We have 1 in the main, 3 in the side. It's harder. You might think you could play more in the main. It's more difficult than you think because you need to play a lot of Forest for Quirion Ranger. So it's maybe you could play like the second in the main and like lose some of the Shifting Woodland loops. I wouldn't play more than that though. In the main deck at least, and then you kind of just treat it as a spell when you board it in to disrupt Tron. And Tron has been very popular lately, so I want to be really heavy on the hate there. I do think Tyvar, to some extent, the sideboard cards, but I think Tyvar is really worth splashing for, especially in this more combo-focused version. So yeah, let's get in there. Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. Okay, so this could be a turn to Tyvar. Let's go ahead and keep it. I think I'm going to go and try to fetch a Dryad Arbor instead of playing the Arbor from my hand turn 1, so it's like a little bit less obvious what my plan is, a little bit more resilient to removal. This could be also turn 3 Nissa. So Flooded Strand Steam Vents, could be Jeskai. Kind of a big top deck. I guess Flooded Strand Steam Vents is kind of Steam Vents Ragavan. I guess this is just like normal. I guess you could just probably just as Jeskai, right? Okay, let's go and just untap the Dryad Arbor, play the Delighted Halfling, and can't quite make mana with it. I do like that if we play this Dryad Arbor with the Tyvar in play, it can tap for mana immediately. I will try to block here. Oh, Domain Zoo. I don't know why I never think Steam Vents Ragavan is Domain Zoo, but I obviously should be thinking it. All right, let's block. They got a Kavu. And we draw a Summoner's Pact. And now the doors really swing wide open. So if I Summoner's Pact for Springheart Nantuko, I Nantuko onto Dryad Arbor. I guess that's just infinite. It's a bit more infinite if I could Nissa first. Like I make infinite mana and I have infinite power. Seems pretty good. And then so I guess what we want to do is Untap the Dryad Arbor, cast the Nissa. Don't play the land yet. No, but then yeah, then we don't. Yeah, the problem with that is we need the landfall, right? So I think we'll just Summoner's Pact now. So Summoner's Pact for the Nantuko. And then we'll play the Dryad Arbor. So let's go always yield. It's okay. It's kind of weird that it's not auto paying. Yeah, so I know that Nissa untaps, but the problem is if we go Nissa first, I think we need to play our land first. Or we could play the land first, but then we don't want to have mana to pay for the Nantuko. I don't think that we can start this loop if we play Nissa first, but I might be missing something. If we could have, it would have been really nice again, because we would have been able to attack with an infinite power creature. We also have a Tyvar untapped still. Or Tyvar minus, I guess. Summoner's Pact is just so good in this deck. I'm really happy we finally got around to trying it. Now I'm kind of surprised my opponent's not conceding, because like this, I mean, this is game one against Domain Zoo. They're not gonna have like Wrath Disguise. They're not gonna be able to beat Kill Me Next Turn. And they're like, oh yeah, I can't beat infinite creatures. That's my impression of them. Okay, so this matchup's kind of weird. Like sometimes, or usually you like want to Force of Vigor against Domain Zoo, because you're playing more of a fair game plan, but you kind of just ignore their Leyline Scion stuff. But Force of Vigor is still kind of nice because they just have their Leylines and their Leyline bindings. We could play some Fatal Pushes on the draw just to slow them down, but also like then when you dilute your deck, things get a little bit weird. I think I'm gonna cut the Craterhoof. I think that this is a matchup where the Craterhoof finish is not as important, and it's important not to have really clunky draws. I also think the Summoner's Pacts maybe do shine a little bit less in these kind of matchups where they have a bunch more really, really cheap interaction. They can really punish you for drawing too early. So I think we can cut a couple copies. So this opens up room to play like some number of Force or some number of Push. I think I'm going to play like 2 Fatal Push and then try this configuration. Arbor, untap with Tyvar plus land 5 mana. Nissa untaps home for 2 mana to play Nantuko, play Misty. Arbor untap. So okay, Nissa untap Tomb for 2 mana to play Nantuko. Alright, I guess that did work then. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Yeah, no, that seemed like it worked. So I guess we could have attacked for with 1 infinite power creature that turn. Alright, I guess we keep this on the draw. Not too bad. Puts on a mold to 6. Obviously, just also infinite power in this matchup is going to be good enough. Don't necessarily need to waste too much brain power, which is unfortunately pretty relevant for me in this deck. Just this deck has just been like a brain melter every time we've played it. All right, they mold a 6. They have another monkey. Would Badgerhoof deck be a good name? I guess I think it's a little weird to have Craterhoof in the deck name, even though people love that card. It's like it's not really like a main focal point, but maybe it's good. I also think I don't know what the P is. It would not be a good deck name at the very least, but it could be a deck name. Could just call it Cub combo. Yeah, maybe. Although a lot of the combos don't involve Cub. It's like Cub combos. Okay, they loot away a Flage. 4 cards in their hand. Taps for a green mana. Plays another Kavu. Play another Cub. You got 2 Cubs. Or 2 Kavus, I got 2 Cubs. I'm probably gonna grab a Dryad Arbor to chump block with this turn. We'll see. So one short of escaping Flage main phase 1. They could escape Flage main phase 2 after their loots. Instead, they get a Triumph, so they can get full domain on the Kavus. They exile a Halfling, so they like their hand. And then they exile the Fatal Push. Maybe they're focused on getting me off Delirium for Shifting Woodland. Could be pretty relevant. We mill a Verdant Catacombs. I'm going to go ahead and jump with an Arbor. Take 5 down to 9. Cub Summoner. Cub Summoner is pretty good. Okay, Scion of Draco. Pretty good. So we draw Sunscorched Desert. I think we're maybe gonna, if he had the trample on the Kavus, just probably too much. Let's see if we can surveil something into the yard here. Doesn't really matter. We're graveyarding like literally every card, but there's a Cobra, which you don't have Delirium for. Let's go to game. Yeah, the trample's too much here. Go to game 3 on the plane. Okay, on the play. So we have double Fatal Push. Sure, let's keep this. So if they had played a Leyline on turn 0, then I would have been pretty likely, I think, to play Overgrown Tomb turn 1, because maybe we would want to Boseiju the Leyline, right? So thankfully we get to play around Stub on the Tyvar. I'm probably just going to minus the Tyvar here. We were getting Overgrown Tomb anyways because of the double Fatal Push in our hand, of course. They don't have Bolt, so it should be pretty safe to minus. And we do hit a Lotus Cobra, thankfully. Good hit. So we definitely don't want to see a Scion of Draco. It'd be kind of sad if we can't Fatal Push that. Come on, Kavu. Ragavan. Ragavan Binding, I guess? Ragavan Binding's totally fine. Don't know if they're hitting Tyvar, maybe? They hit the Tyvar. Okay, so we got a nice 2-for-1 off the Tyvar. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, yeah, we'll just go. Cast a Nissa. You know, Nissa has been a card that when we first built this deck, I was like, I do not really think this is that good, but it seems worth trying out in the shell, and she has just kind of continued to perform really well, time and time again. Been very happy with Nissa. Hopefully they don't have a second binding. Flage? Okay, Fun Raveler, not too scary at all. Gonna bounce the Forest, I would guess. They bounced the Halfling. Okay, well, they're pretty dead. We even get to ding them. Okay, and they just concede. Nice. Okay. I really, really like this deck. It's gone through a lot of iterations at this point. I think we're pretty close to solving it, although maybe that's not true with how, like, raw the sideboard is at the moment. Wouldn't hate being able to play the third Nissa, but at the moment, I don't think there's a card I would cut for the third Nissa. Hey, Sprawn, happy holidays. Good morning to you, too. Happy New Year, everybody. It's been an awesome 2025. It's been, I think I've grinded harder 2025 than any year of my life, although a lot of it has been for non-stream related things. I could finally get a Nantuko Craterhoof again. Maybe it'd be tough. Yeah, we have had Tyvar in previous builds. Tyvar is like tested and very good, and a big part. Tyvar is a big part of Summer's Pact being better, where you just have like a lot of infinite loops that involve Tyvar. So like being Summer's Pact makes Tyvar even better too. Speaking of the Tyvar, I think we'll play the Tyvar this turn. And then next turn, we can try to go infinite with Summer's Pact. Nantuko on the Arbor, maybe, although we could be a little bit at risk of losing to our own Summer's Pact, potentially on what happens here. We're gonna cast the Tyvar. We could, I guess we could Green Sun for a Delighted Halfling here. I suppose it could make more sense to Green Sun for Quirion Ranger because we have Ashaya. Let's go ahead and do that. Another nice thing is Pact gets Grist. Yeah, I think we had a Grist at one point. I'm a Grist hater in this deck, I guess. Shivan Reef. Okay, so they're not Belcher. Shivan Reef is Affinity, I suppose. So we should win unless they hold up some interaction. Um, is the Ashaya combo? So I can go for Ashaya combo, right? This is 5, play Ashaya, then we go untap. Yeah, then we get to make infinite mana, and then we use that infinite mana to start Nantukoing dry. I mean, let's just start casting. Happy New Year, helping. My New Year's resolution is to petition WotC to unban Grave Troll again. This time will be fine, I swear. Well, I'll see you in 2026 when your petition is to reban Grave Troll. Alright, so cast Ashaya. And then we go, we're going to return the Quirion Ranger to its own ability because it's now a forest to untap the Dryad Arbor. And then we make 2 mana off the Dryad Arbor, and then we replay. So this is going to net us 1 green mana each time we do this little loop-de-doop. So I guess we'll just eventually pact for Craterhoof. So yeah, why don't we just go bestow. And then I'm gonna show this loop a little bit. And then in response to one of these triggers, because again we're gonna make infinite mana, I'm just gonna pact for Craterhoof to show them what the win is. A lot of times opponents are not conceding because they don't know what the win is, and they want to see if they can get more info. So I feel like and you just show them the info, and then they concede. Okay, so up a game. Now this matchup is pretty good. I think I usually bring in the second Boseiju over just the Woodland, and I don't go overboard on the Boseijus because again, a bunch of forests is still important to maintain. I think I'm gonna go down on trim a Nissa in this matchup. It can be a little bit weird. A little bit slow in the draw maybe is a better word than weird. Do we want to have the Craterhoof in the deck? I think Craterhoof could be important to finish your opponent off if they're about to like kill me with Kappa Cannoneer or weapons. I think it's probably a fine matchup to keep it in. I think we can go down a Cobra and a Ranger. These are cards I oftentimes trim. Yeah, cube main deckable, Force of Vigor. During this all access, the first time I had some days I could play nice. Got close to 5-0 twice, losing to misclick or a bug. Ooh, what was the bug? Yeah, I'm glad that you were able to play some. Tapping Quirion makes it faster. Oh, that's true. Yeah, but you can also tap the Quirion Ranger with Tyvar and play. Double tap land is tough. I do think we should keep this. Let's go and put back the Nissa. Hand does have some combos and could draw an untap land. Could draw a Leyline. Excuse me. I guess with Tyvar you don't actually need Cub or if you have Tyvar in play you don't need Cub or Leyline because you can just tap the Quirion Ranger to itself. Okay, that is a pretty big deal. Kind of the punish for drawing the forest, I guess. Deck name Badger Summoning? Well, summoning implies Heartless Summoning is in the deck. Alright, opponent playing Control over there. Third Canal. Well, there's an infinite combo here. Is there an infinite combo next turn? So I go Tyvar, play Arbor. No, I guess I go Tyvar minus on Halfling. No, because I won't have I'm not gonna have the landfall, I think. Unless I like mill another Dryad Arbor off the Tyvar or something. We're still gonna keep. Yeah, opponent's playing Affinity. It's got a weird like interactive draw. There's a pretty high chance that they've got a rebuke here, so it's possible we're trying to like bait the rebuke on Force of Vigor this game. Do you think I'm still playing Tyvar this turn? Opponent played Surveil Land during second main phase, which I wanted to do after they surveilled. They didn't let me. Went to in phase. Ocelot Pride triggered. Just know for that was tough. Okay, so land off top lets me infinite combo. Instead, we draw a Leyline of Abundance. My opponent is obviously representing a lot of interaction. I think I'm just going to cast the Leyline. This is my weakest play. If they have a rebuke, then this is what I want them to play. If they have sync, it's not really all that different. If they have nothing, we're doing okay. There's an Urza Saga. They have 4 cards in their hand after this. They pass. There's a Cub. So Summoner's Pact on for Dryad Arbor, which I guess is something I didn't super think we would do today. That would allow us to potentially win the game this turn. I'm not convinced it's Affinity. What we already played game 1 against this opponent, and they were definitely Affinity in game 1. Or they played weapons manufacturing at the very least. Sorry, I should have bestowed on the mortuary. I don't know why I don't do that sometimes. Okay, so let's go see if they have an answer to this. And then yeah, let's I guess is it better to get back Halfling? Is it better to get back Halfling? I don't really see a lot of reason why not. We could also randomly hit the Dryad Arbor and not need to use the Summoner's Pact. Okay, so yeah, let's get the Halfling, so that we have mana to pay for the Nantuko ability. We might get like Wood Flared here, I suppose. Did not think I'd be Summoner's Pacting for Dryad Arbor. It's fun. Oh, right. Sorry, we have infinite mana because we have the Cub, so we can play around the Whip Flare by activating the Leyline enough times. Now we don't have a non-summoning sick creature, so we can't quite win the game this turn. Oh, I guess I didn't need to get the Halfling because obviously the Arbor just pays for the first one. Although I don't think there's really a big downside to minusing. Oh, I guess the big downside to minusing is I could have plussed on a actually I could have won the game this turn by plussing on a non-summoning sick creature. Yeah, I just forgot that I could tap the Arbor as my Summoner's Pacted Arbor. All right, so let me I guess turn off auto yields, but still say yes to this. So I'm going to show them that, yes, I'm not going to be losing to Whip Flare here. Okay, and then they can see. Opponent's just like, can I win if I had Whip Flare? And then I say no. And they say less. I would like to, but it's just I just have like too much going on even besides that too. All right, so Veils of Phage in the yard. Second time that's happened today. Quirion Ranger is kind of like top decking a land. Are there even Supreme Verdicts in the format anymore? Sometimes. Like Verdict is better against Domain Zoo and Quantum Riddler, and so like there was a little bit of a time where like Verdict was like the removal spell or the sweeper. But I kind of don't think that there's Blink and Control have both fallen off really hard over like the last 3 or 4 weeks. I'm not exactly sure why that is, like, or why they've fallen off as hard as they have, but that is the case, it seems. You need to get ChatGPT could make the list in 5 minutes with graphics. Yeah, I'm so uninterested in using ChatGPT for anything creative. It's especially not any of the content. Yeah. But also like, listen, I do not think uh, AI is especially bad for a like data video like you're suggesting. It's like I like AI cannot get like what like any of the sports questions I like Google, it's wrong like every time so consistently, and I just cannot. I just this even despite my biases, I don't think it makes a lot of sense to trust AI with anything, just with how it gets such simple stuff wrong so often. All right, so I can play Cobra into Tyvar. Maybe Tyvar this turn was a little foolish. I think it's okay because I get to also go now. Minus get back. Oh, I got a cub. So I wanted to get a halfling back instead so I could bestow. I guess now I think it's probably just more important to get the cub and play. Although I don't oh, hold on, maybe the cub is bad because I have all these Quirion Rangers and I don't have another land. Not sure. Let's play it out. It's not just about how inaccurate AI responses are; it's about the resources being used, who's paying for them. Yeah, there's just so many problems with them. It's like your creative integrity, the I sometimes feel like I'm talking crazy, but like the satisfaction of creating something and sharing it with other people is why I do what I do. It's why I'm working on the game. It's why I work on the stream. It's why I'm working on the novel. Like depriving that from yourself is like it's awful to deprive the create like this the natural creative endeavors you have as a human being, and then also like the and that's just like on a very basic level beyond all the other nonsense. Okay, so let's cut the Craterhoof. I'm gonna bring in the Fatal Pushes. Definitely super dead to the bombardment there. I have been liking this a lot in the matchup. Let me go down a Quirion Ranger and a Cobra. All right, beautiful hand. Do you think we should get Overgrown Tomb? Although it's very painful with this Quirion Ranger. So I don't need Overgrown Tomb to cast the Tyvar because I've got the Halfling. My opponent's on a Multi 6, Multi 5 now. All right, I'm gonna get the over. I just have Fatal Push in my deck. I should get Overgrown Tomb. Delighted Halfling. Getting to untap with a Leyline. Delighted Halfling is a delight. Okay, glad we got the Fatal Push. So we have 2, 3, 4. We technically have 5 mana. So I guess next turn we're going to try to set up to a Ashaya combo. And then this turn we probably go Green Sun, Green Sun for Delighted Halfling. Sorry, so Green Sun for Cub. I think I have to do it. It would be nice to go on the desert, but I think because I have the Fatal Push, I need to go on the Overgrown Tomb. I agree with the takes on AI. I think we're in the same phase as people in the 80s who are against computers. Maybe. I don't know. I think people like to say this kind of stuff to some extent, and like I think that AI is very helpful when it comes to software engineering and computer programming in general. I think it's a very like I think it's so ingrained as a tool there that it's never going away, and it's kind of a different technology to some extent. But also, a lot of the software engineers, the computer programmers who have just kind of not learned how to do their job because they rely on AI too much. Like that's a whole mess as well. Um, but I don't really I believe that AI just cannot replace human artistic expression. I think that it can never do it well. I think that in when it comes to art and music and voice acting and regular acting, I just really would hate to see it become a mainstream replacement. All right, well, let's win the game. Yeah, I agree. I agree that it's just a tool, but and that's why I would hate to see a tool replace something I think is so important to being human, artistic expression. Okay, I cast Ashaya. I love that Ashaya has like finally become like a big piece of like this Quirion Ranger stuff finally feels so good thanks to Badgermole Cub. For the longest time it just like did not feel like it was quite there. Opponent. Understanding the combo a little bit. Not F6. Wouldn't want to F6 here. I mean, maybe they have a surgical. Fortunately, it won't stop companies from abusing AI to try to increase their bottom line. I mean, of course, yeah. I just wonder if it's working because I was talking to a friend about this recently. I feel that a lot of companies are pushing out rushed rushed AI products that don't really make a lot of sense practically for the purpose of justifying the amount of loans they're getting. I just feel like the quality of the products AI products is going down because they're rushed out to justify the loans, and a lot of the services don't make sense like practically at all. So I think that's a little bit interesting. I know none of the takes I have are particularly interesting either or fresh, but guess we haven't talked much about this on stream, and we got to talk about something while we're comboing off here. This deck turned 3 so consistently. Opponent finally F6 at least. So we just need to get the Overgrown Tomb and the Cub up to 17 power. Easy enough. It's nice that we have the extra mana producer, so we're generating 2 mana a loop instead of 1 mana, but it's still going to be a lot of clicks. The ley line has also just been so insane in this deck. Like, so often you play ley lines and they're awkward. You feel like you have to keep hands. Like you feels like you have to keep hands with ley lines even if they're not that good. This deck, it's like you have so many hands without leyline that are still insane, and because so many of your hands without leyline that are still good, when you top deck leyline, you have a lot of mana to cast it, and then the hands with it are just even so broken because it's like it's a mana payoff and a combo enabler at the same time. It's just like kind of unbelievable how good it is here. Can you tap the halfling? Can we untap halfling too? Yeah, okay, we can untap halfling too. Of course we can, which means that we don't. Oh, sorry, we can untap. We won't be able to, no, we can't. Sorry. I don't know why I'm thinking I have to like tap the halfling to replay the Quirion Ranger. Okay, so now we need to get these up to 9 power each. Not too bad. Probably, actually, are we there right now? Just say I work on this stuff, and Aspiring Spike has smart and correct opinions. Let's go. It's not the most interesting to read random charters talk about, so let's talk about NBA All-Star voting. Okay, I have a perspective as a relatively new NBA fan. I am annoyed by almost all NBA content. Almost all NBA content seems to be making up trade offers that don't exist and clickbaiting them, and then like, and I don't know. As far as the All Star voting stuff, I just want to see what the All Star voting list is. You know, I just the speculations about it are so boring to me. But like I cannot deal with another like article that just makes up a trade proposal, like some random writer just makes up a trade idea and then is presenting it as something that's happening for clicks. Also, we're ahead on the clock, by the way. Ahead on the clock, by the way. Yeah, Coop is really good. I like a lot of the Mavericks. I feel like the team can be so close to being good, but we've got a lot of problems too. There's some good podcasts. If you have a podcast recommendation, I would love to, because I've been looking for like NBA YouTubers and I have not really clicked with any of them. Yeah, we're ahead 30 seconds on clock here. All right, going to game three. On the draw for game three. Let's go. Yeah, I would love podcast recommendations for basketball. Start one. Hmm. I'll lose everything if I give my NBA opinions. Dunked on, Zach Slow Show, no dunks. I'm gonna screenshot. Okay, on the draw. Would love to start off 3-0 here. Have I gone to too many games in person? I've gone to. Yeah, I've been to several. I don't know if I would say many. I've probably been to 4 games in the last like 12 months. Me and Ness are gonna go see. We're gonna go to San Antonio for her birthday to watch a Spurs game. They're on a mold of 6. I'm on a mold of 6. I don't like to go to 5 in this matchup. I don't like to keep a hand without a 1 drop in this matchup. I think I have to mulligan to 5. Yeah, I mean, this hand is not really better, unfortunately. I think we do like this. Yeah. Okay, I'll write that down. This is. And we draw Dryad Arbor. Maybe the wheels are coming off this game here. Yeah, I use there's a website called Game Time that like and I haven't done this in a little bit, but you could just kind of check if it's like they discount the tickets if they're like last minute if they just aren't sold. So that's usually what I do is I'll just wait and see if like there's a good deal on there. If there is, I'll see if Esther wants to go. Got some pretty good deals. Maybe they'll sponsor me. All right, I think I'm gonna go ahead and grab an Arbor here. Do I play my other Arbor also? It's probably a fine time to do so. Just started playing MTA for the first time on Steam. It's fun. Nice. On Steam? I didn't know you could play Magic on Steam. Is Arena on Steam? This is Magic Online, which lets you play my favorite format, which is Modern, but it's a little bit different of a kind of Magic than you might find on Arena. But I really like it. One of the all-time great games, Magic the Gathering. I was talking to my neighbor yesterday, who like knows I stream, but was asking a lot of questions about Magic, and he's like, "Do you do box openings?" And I'm like, "I'm so happy I don't have to do box openings, man." I'm so glad I'm so glad people like the decks I make. All right, the Graveyard of Ragavan, after some thought here. No Galvanic Discharge, or at least not one that they wanted to cast this turn. Blaze an Arid Mesa. That same neighbor gave me a Shinron, from Dragon Ball Z, a Shinron, like, anime statue that we sometimes use as a Christmas tree topper. Cool guy. Box opening sub goal. Actually, I have cracked packs on stream. I actually have done it now that I think about it. Okay, so we could go bestow Nantuko this turn. I think I'd like to do that because that will allow me to trigger the Nissa's landfall ability next turn potentially. And then if they kill the Dryad Arbor here, that it is what it is, and we'll just go like Overgrown Tomb, make a 1/1, play a halfling, keep going. Oh, so I guess we could just blow up mana, then play halfling, then play this tapped. Yeah, I got honestly really lucky with all of our neighbors. Like we have like 3 neighbors and they are all like really nice. Oh, I guess I should have played the tomb first. Open myself up to another discharge, although another discharge didn't seem that likely. It's honestly maybe a little weird that they didn't kill an arbor. Are they going to surveil Flage into the yard again? They're doing some thinking. They do have enough energy to jump something. Oh, that was a long think on the Flage there, opponent. Damn it. Twice in one match. Well, you know, we're on a mold of 5. We got Flage surveilled. Maybe we're going to 2-1 here. How many subs give me to crack a box on stream? I might have a box in my closet. The answer really depends on if there's a box in my closet right now. I'm gonna take a top deck. Tilted by Jokic's injury. Yeah, it's pretty sad. The Mavs versus Nuggets game was really good the other day. Still have any of the prize boxes for the PTQ 2023? Yes, that it's funny that you know, but yeah, that's where they would be from. I know I've given a couple of them away, but I think I maybe opened one, but I might also still have one. I can't remember. It's funny that you know where it's from. Yeah, I don't think we've got too many outs at this point to the active Flage. I don't think we have enough resources. But I think I might as well play it out here. I don't have enough. Yeah, I don't have any more utility fetchables, unfortunately. I guess we could find Ashaya, but then we don't have a payoff to Ashaya. You signed your unlucky I signed your unlucky witnesses at the event. Cool. That was a really fun event. Is there any deck that could use Brainstone? Seems like a fun card. We've played some Brainstones. I know we've done it with Miracles because we were obsessed with Miracles, and Brainstone got pretty power crept out by Brain Surge. I used to play one in a Luris deck. Yeah, here I used to play. Oh, okay, that was a lot. So this was okay. This was a Luris deck. Luris is in the sideboard as a companion here, and you could bring to light for Valky, and then you could loop Brainstone with Luris. Not very good. But then I think this was a bit of a more normal deck where I just played like one Brainstone to get Valky's back in the deck. This is all very pre MH3. I don't think I haven't played Brainstone post MH3. Okay, I played it with Enigma Jewel as a way to like use the Enigma Jewel mana. Oh, that's right. I used to just play it like as a one of in Jund Saga also. Used to just play it as a one of in Jund Saga. As like a way to like filter, like you'd have like a bunch of land stuck in your hand with Red and 6 sometimes, and so you would get a Brainstone and you would like, you know, brainstorm in the late game. It was like fine. Waterfalls also I get 39, and Professor Dumbledore at the 19. Thank you. I'm trying to think what we could top deck. You know, maybe this is a problem with like not having Karn, is like we don't have that as like a YOLO get out of this kind of out here. My payoff is Nissa, and as Ashaya Ranger. Well, they're just gonna kill the Nissa. But yeah, so like if this has survived here sometimes, yeah, we could get the Ashaya going. Wait, they targeted me. Oh, but they're just gonna jump the Flage. I'm just dead on board. Okay, well, 2-1. Tough mold to 5. Tough Flage Travail. Is what it is. I kind of think it's more value and it's more powerful. Dang, this hand is. I kept it because we have Leyline. Maybe a little too fast because we can't go for the turn 2 Tyvar because we don't have black mana besides the Heath. I mean, I guess I'm just gonna surveil. We have a lot of very good stuff to surveil into. Even like another fetch line can just get the Arbor to cast the Tyvar. Okay, so be fun if this was the mirror. It's probably Yawgmoth though. Right. Don't want another Summoner's Pact, I think. A little too slow against a Delighted Halfling. And we'll take this. Better than Spyro or Fable. Better 3-drop. I said better 3-drop than Storm. Yeah, better than Fable. I think Seasoned Pyromancer is the best. And then if you were going to also play any Fables, I've just kind of always thought that Ranger Captain was better. Although I think a lot of people disagree with that. So they play a 1/1 Ballista. They kill my Cobra. Gonna be something we get minus on the Tyvar. This is Brood Scale. We find more than just the Cobra. I think that yeah, because we have the Quirion Ranger, or sorry, the Springheart Nantuko combo next turn. I think we should grab the Dryad Arbor for that and play Halfling to block to protect the Tyvar. Although we don't really need to protect the Tyvar because we have a backup. Yeah, I did lose to Snoros. We mulled to 5 in game 3, and then they also surveilled Flage in the yard. So they can Cauldron. They Cauldron Quirion Ranger. Interesting. Cool. So they untap the forest. We play the forest. I have 3 mana. Do they have a Ballista? Okay, they don't have a Ballista, so we should be winning here. So we get the Springheart Nantuko. I've said this a few times, but I kind of can't stress how. Oh, you know what? We actually weren't winning until we drew the. We drew Quirion Ranger for turn, right? Because we needed the Quirion Ranger for the landfall here, actually, to start the loop. Oh, sorry. This. What am I doing? This is infinite mana, but it's not. So this is infinite power, but we don't have infinite mana. So I guess I needed to. I guess I needed to try to find a Delighted Halfling off the Tyvar minus. Because we're not going to be able to activate the Leyline. Because we're mana neutral on this tap here. I guess we're screwed. Not that we were in like going to be able to do anything, I guess, unless we found Cub off of a Tyvar minus. But again, the problem is we have already played our land for turn, so I don't think there's going to be a way to restart the loop if we do find the Cub. I guess I could have also made some mana here. Let's just see what happens. I just want to see if I would have hit it. Okay, we would have missed. We are dead on board, so let's go to game 2. Could have found Cobra off Tyvar. Sorry, Cobra would have done it. This deck is also one of these like brain melters for me. Maybe for everybody. It's okay. I think I gotta be a little bit more patient with myself too, figuring out all the lines again. But yeah, Tyvar. I need to be playing slower. But Tyvar minus on the Cobra first would have given us net 1 mana each time we did the loop. There's like I can't even like when someone asks what all the combos are in the deck. There's just like too many to even say. We'll know for next time. Right, pretty hand. Went to the Mold of 6. Don't you want push for this matchup or trying to combo faster? I think Force of Vigor is better disruption than the Fatal pushes. And I don't think I want to go overboard on the disruption, especially on the play. And I think the forces are better disruption, but I could be wrong. So we go Cobra. we could go Cobra, Forest, Cub, but I think it does end up being a good bit more mana to play the Cub first, but then we won't have black mana for the Tyvar. So I guess we just do this and then we wait for next turn. And then the Cobra can give me black mana for next turn potentially for the Tyvar. Shadow Flame 12 months. This deck rocks. Yeah, I do love this deck. Call it 8 Cub. It's really like 12. If you're kind of like the packs, we have Green Suns too. Not what a very difficult deck to name because there's so much going on. Right, so that can be Tyvar, although maybe they're going to needle Tyvar here. They do name Tyvar. So let's hold up the Hardcast Force, I think. Say no to that. All right, good enough for me. Three mana is Grist? Okay. Plus is the Grist. They mill a Brute Scale. I draw Summoner's Pact. So this should be a win. Yeah, so I don't need to minus with the Tyvar because I've got the Lotus Cobra in play this time. I'll be able to attack with 2 infinite power creatures. So not exactly a win. Although I can, if I minus the Tyvar instead of plussing, I also get to attack with 2 infinite power creatures because one of them is Badgermole Cub. Although, is that I have to start making the mana first, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. Let's just start. I think either way, it's 2 infinite power creatures. So it doesn't matter. So always yield, always yield. We're gonna be here clicking for a little bit. So yeah, the Cobra and the Leyline makes each Arbor creation worth 1. Yes, infinite power, infinite creatures, but I only attack with 2 infinite creatures this turn. Those only got 2 cards in their hands, so I feel like if they don't have, I mean, actually, so only 1 card in their hand, they can only have 2 cards next turn. So I don't even know what they could top deck to, like, put themselves in a winning position. Maybe I focus on everybody's time and I just like activate a couple times here because I don't know how different it is to like make them go -2 creatures. It doesn't seem like it really matters very much to like actually make the infinite power this turn. Am I getting too lazy? I'm just trying to make sure we're using everybody's time as respectfully as possible here. Yeah, they have haste, but only tapping for now. Yeah, I can attack to this turn by untap. Can't kill this turn. I'm gonna do this for a little bit longer because it seems like maybe my opponent will concede. Yeah, let me just spend all this green mana to make more arbors. Then I'm just gonna activate the ley line after this, and then um, if I get punished for this, it's okay. I think that the upside of not being here for like an extra 5 minutes is pretty high. It's fun to make so many Dryad Arbors. It's like it's coming back to mock me for all the times I've mocked him. This is like a Gabriel Nassif PT match here. All right, so I'm just gonna say no. Can't you attack with the untapped Dryad Arbor? I'm counting the untapped Dryad Arbor amongst the creatures I can attack with. But I can attack with two attackers, and they have two blockers, so I cannot win the game this turn. So instead I'm just going to be, oh no. Oh, I guess you know what? Honestly, this is actually I forgot that we have the limit on stuff here. I've actually never seen. Look at this. Look at this. I've never seen it do it like I didn't even know it did this in the code. It did it like one at a time like this. But I actually now think we could not have killed this turn or done as many arbors as we needed to do without getting into like the permanent limit on Magic Online. Yeah, we'll have 15 minutes for game 3. It'll be plenty of time. They have two cards. There's just like no combo here, right? All right, floats, makes a colorless, concedes. We go to game 3. Maybe on the draw I want access to Fatal Push. I think I'm gonna cut the Nissa for one Fatal Push. We also have Force of Vigor. Again, I don't want to go too heavy on interaction. Is the name Green Twin anything? Maybe Badger Twin? I feel like it's not super. Like I always like deck names where it's like both like cool sounding but also like descriptive. But I just build so many decks. I need all my deck names to be kind of like descriptive for the reader. Um, yeah, I could work with this one. Might be I might lose to their combo. Oh, do I? I guess I forgot to play the Ouphe. Why am I not playing? Is there a reason to not play Ouphe? No, we need to have to Ouphe. Rumble. What do they put in their hand? They put a Verdant Catacombs in their hand. They Fatal Push my Arbor. So pretty bad if we don't draw a land here. I guess it's better than drawing a land, actually. When do we go back to the breakfast deck names? That's even before my time, but I also don't know. My breakfast game is too weak, maybe. They've got another Fatal Push. You know, if they're just all interaction, no combo, that's going to be fine. Although here's a Grist. I guess that's... Grist minus is really good here. You don't usually expect a deck like this to go triple removal spell by turn 3. Really good hand against mine. Stuck on too many Badgermoles here. If we draw a land this turn, I think we're in solid shape. Trades for the Grist. Not quite. Not the worst draw, though. We need them to brick for a little bit. So they cash in the Grist to kill the Halfling. I think this is a fine outcome. The Insect token's going to grow. They're also going to get to Spy Master's Vault. Maybe they drew Cauldron? That would suck. Okay. Spy Master's Vault, Connive 2. They discard a Rumble and a Halfling. That's not good. May for next league. Don't need to go overboard on the card. Yeah, we can go. We might get manatized. I've been manatized twice, and I just think about it every single time I see a plains. Do they have Solitude Ephemerate? They're kind of acting like they have Solitude Ephemerate. They have March? They have Orim's Chant. Okay. Alright, let's not play too hard into a kind of sinks to not have this in the deck anymore. But let's not play too hard into Wrath, I guess. Metelmo with the tier 1 for 6 months in advance. Thank you, my friend. Welcome back. Very generous of you. It's weird seeing you exist outside of YouTube. Well, there. I am also existing on Magic Online. If you think about it. So, Orim's Chant, Plains, Eldrazi Temple. Opponent's cooking. Opponent agrees this makes sense. Mono White Scepter, Eldrazi Chant. Maybe. I guess we have played, actually, these cards before. I've played these cards before! I've played these cards before. Well, I'm going to cast Nissa. I'm trying to think, what is the name of that card? The Edge of Eternity Eldrazi. I think we played like. It's gonna bother me. Whatever. I'll focus on that later. So this is 6, 7, 8, 9. Do I want to walk into a Reprieve, or do I just want a Green Sun for Craterhoof? Yeah, anti-causal. That's where we would have played these cards before. It's not even really lethal, is it? Or is it? So this would be it'd be a 9 power Craterhoof and a 6 power Lotus Cobra. Oh, is that it? Craterhoof is just always lethal. I guess it's awkward the amount of mana I've floated here. Okay. Green Sun for Craterhoof Behemoth on turn 4. You could have some removal, but let's just put lethal in play here. All right. I guess I'm a little bit worried about Scepter Chant. Let me look at my yeah. So it would be an anti-causal vestige deck. They say that they're a YouTube watcher. Dang, 5 months ago. Time flies. So we played a couple different versions of this, although this is looking at it again, it's very different from how I remember. Let me look at the Eldrazi Displacer build real quick, see if I was playing Scepter Chant there. Okay, I wasn't. Okay, never mind then. I do think I'm interested in just not losing to Scepter Chant, so let's bring in these Boseijus and or two of the Boseijus and get in there. I was skeptical of this is. Yeah, this is. I really don't understand how they're this good. Sometimes we play 3, sometimes we play 2, but it was a card. I'm like, we should test it out and see, but I did not expect it to stay in this archetype. But it's like, it's been so consistently good over like 5 iterations of the deck now. When you can cast Nissa turn 2, she is better, I guess. Curse you, Leyline of Abundance. It's fine. Very hard castable in this deck. Happy New Year's, Pop-Tart. Glad you're liking the stream after all this time. They got a Field of Ruin. I guess I'm not actually... Yeah, so I guess I'm not actually playing a spell after this Cub. I'm going to keep that. It's kind of weird to not play a spell after the Cub. We might get reprieved here. I even talked about Mana Tithe already this match, and then I walked into it there. Wow. It's funny. Okay, they don't have 2 mana. Oh, sorry. We're playing. We have the Halfling, so we don't get got by Mana Tithe here. Could be reprieve still. So if I green sun for something here, am I overcommitting into a sweeper? I might be. Yeah, honestly, I think I am too much. I'm just gonna. I think I could play nothing. So they sweep the board. I lose my Cub. I get to surveil because I earthbend here. I just have no follow up. I really wish I could just cast the Leyline right now, but I think we'll just go ahead and not commit more into a sweeper here. What's the combo where desert kills? There's a couple. So you can earthbend the desert into a creature. You can then Nantuko the desert, and then if you have a Lotus Cobra in play or a Leyline in play, or I guess just the Cub still in play, then that's infinite damage. And then I guess we I guess that's it. With you can't actually combo without the Ghost Quarter. You need the Ghost Quarter for the Nantuko to kill. But you can dig for the Sunscorched Desert with Nantuko for the Oh, and then you can also Shifting Woodland with Nantuko to get pieces of that for the other combo. So they have a second K command. Alright, so K command my Nissa. And they're making spawns. So they're saying they got some action. Despite it coming back to the earthbending, I think never mind. I'm gonna earthbend on the surveil land. Just a little bit daunting with the Field of Ruin out there. But I think it'd be fine. Jeez, Lewis. Do I want to get a card out of the deck? Yeah, I think I'll just get a halfling out of the deck here. Do I side out some Green Sun Zeniths if they boarded in Containment Priest? Probably. Although there's not like a lot I want to be bringing in for game 3 if we go to game 3. I don't like that I guess we could bring in Fatal Push. If this is the only target, that's kind of weird to like cut Green Sun for the thing that is only good when I have Green Sun in play. I like seeing Containment Priest though. Maybe I'm under sideboarding Containment Priest. I barely ever do. Maybe it's just sick against my stuff. Is Containment Priest... I mean, Blink isn't really much of a deck right now. I'm overthinking everything. Let's cast a Tyvar. We might be able to cast Craterhoof. I haven't counted exactly. I think we're gonna be exactly at casting a Craterhoof, but then we won't have. Oh, the stupid Containment Priest also stops Tyvar. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Wait, what? Okay, and it also stops Dryad Arbor being played from hand. Okay, well, I lose. But the good news is we've learned that the Containment Priest is much better than we thought it was. So let's bring in a couple Fatal Pushes, and then let's go down a couple Green Suns. Okay, 1-1 in the chat if you knew the Containment Priest would exile the Dryad Arbor, and 2-2 if you didn't realize. We were very contained there. Definitely more 2-2s. That is such a weird interaction. Very cool. Always a delight when you get to wake up and learn something new. 1-1 and turn 2. I've seen the interaction, forgot about till now. Yeah, I know it's pretty obscure. Pretty obscure. We do need to draw a payoff with this hand, kind of bad. They're on a multi-5 though, so I'm feeling okay. So that's a bit of a payoff. I'm playing around Mana Tithe this time. We got Mana Tithe game 2. Yeah, in paper, I bet people just play the Dryad Arbor all the time. Well, I'm glad I get a little bit of revenge on my opponent here. Well, revenge maybe isn't the right word, but I get to get them too. What's it about giving your first draw Leyline? Honestly, despite it being maybe not the best draw, or clearly not the best draw, it's not the worst either. Okay, well this is infinite. Let me play a Cobra first to make it infinite. This is technically a win this turn, but it's like infinite clicks. Oh, I guess one thing that's kind of nice is because we have a fetch land, we can speed it up a lot. Because we can use the first fetch land to make enough mana to cast the Leyline, and then I guess it's not faster because we don't have the Tyvar in play. Hopefully they just remove the forest. Seems like they have March. I don't think March can kill Earthbent Forest, can it? Okay, Containment Priest. If a non-token creature would enter if it wasn't cast, exile instead. So this will be entering not as a non-token creature, but as a token land. So this should be fine. Good morning. What's for breakfast? Oh yeah, we call this deck chorizo and eggs. I don't know. We're still working on. Okay, add a green. It's always yield. All right, so a forest enters, and then it makes an extra mana from the Cobra. So this is infinite tapped token forests is what this is here, which will make my Leyline make all creatures infinite power next turn. So let's go ahead and let them choose a target on the Solitude. So now I'm worried about auto yielding because then won't the Solitude trigger resolve? I guess I can auto yield to one safely. I really like making infinite tap forests. It's just a very satisfying combo to do. It's like we're just farming. Farming Simulator MTG 2026. Well, the years stop coming and they don't stop coming. Yeah, Badgermole Chilaquilas. Esther makes really good Chilaquilas. Well, you will get priority on the Solitude trigger even if you yield shield triggers. Okay. I should trust my sweet shatters. And my sweet Twitch stratters were right yet again. Yeah, what kind of games do you like to play? Oh, I play this game where I just make infinite basic lands. And then maybe I win the game next turn. I really need to make like 24 forests. The thing, my opponent has only one card in hand. But I really want to be able to like play and like I want to be able to like at least triple activate. In paper, you would say I make 1 billion forests, or I guess you would say 8 billion, so that way you can activate the Leyline a billion times. 8 billion and 4, so you can cast the Leyline, cast the Leyline, then activate it 8 billion times. Unfortunately, we're limited by the technology of our time here. But my opponent only has one card in their hand, so I think we're going to be all right. Solitude is targeting my Nantuko forest here. Oh, so I guess I get to save it, technically, with the Quirion Ranger, huh? So let's go untap here, return this. Okay. Your turn. Only a second Amulet of Vigor. Well, you just need like another Lotus Cobra or for this combo at least. You're kidding me, dude! No way! And we drew Craterhoof Behemoth. This is both Avested restored cards making an appearance here, huh? Again, we should be the game should be over here. We can't possibly click enough, honestly. New Year's Miracle. Yeah, I'm definitely not mad. That's awesome. So we could put our opponent to 2 here. Yeah, and if this was IRL, the game would be over here, but it's the digital world. Okay, not another miracle. So we 3-2 this league. I'm going to play.